All right, fellas. I don't know why Streamlabs does this to me once in a while. It just kills my computer. And it's literally not the computer at all. It's just Streamlabs. Streamlabs will freeze and it'll just kill my stream on YouTube. So I can't even close it out and restart it up. I don't understand it. It's driving me nuts. Way to go, Max. You joined and it broke my stream. All right, let's try to finish off where we were. Hopefully it doesn't freaking crash again. If it does, I'll see you guys tomorrow because I ain't doing this anymore. My fist is gonna go through this thing. All right, let's see. So again, Hivemapper, I know Matt Electron has made like 1,800 bucks on his like best week with 2 Hivemappers as a truck driver. So it's pretty profitable, right? It can be profitable, but I don't know how the other people are going to be affected by the time, like, you know, all those other machines come out. I'm still waiting on my second one to show up, and yeah, all that. So anyways, let's get into the mining stuff, because yeah, I don't know how long we're gonna last here without this thing crashing. All right, let's see. We have the wind miner K9 on the top of the charts, making under $70 a day. That's terrible. Bruh. But is what it is. It looks like $69.88 a day. Let me get this chart all situated. Streamlabs hates you. Apparently Streamlabs hates me. I don't know what it is, man. We have the Ice River KS3. Let's see, 8 terahash unit, looking like $52.75 a day. Now I want to be checking to make sure I don't freeze every friggin' 10 seconds. We have the KS3M 6 terahash unit, making $37.16 a day. Again, guys, these Kaspa miners, yes, these are very low numbers today. Obviously, the price of Kaspa is down, and on top of that, it's you know, they have they're having, or they're not really having, it's like a trimming, I would say. Every month they lose a little bit of profitability, or a little bit of coin that actually gets distributed. So that's one of the things you guys got to be aware of with the Ice River KS3s or 2s or 1s, or just any Ice River Kaspa miner in general, or Bitmain, whatever, whoever you guys choose to buy from. We have the Jazz Miner X16P. Again, I have this thing mining ETC as of right now, testing it out. 5.8 gigahashes, $19.74 per day on that thing. That's mining this Canix, whatever the hell that coin is, I don't even know. We have the Ice River KS2 over here, 2 terahash unit, $12.23 per day. We have the Jazz Miner X16Q, looking like it is making $6.68 a day. Again on this one. Hey, Crypto KJ, where are you, bro? Tell me how to pronounce this. Oh, Mr. Geek of all trades. Good morning, buddy. Good morning. This is my second stream because the Streamlabs decided to crash on me. So it happens at least once a week. We have to have 2. I don't understand it. Makes no sense to me because I don't do anything different ever. All right, the Ice River KS1 1 terahash unit, looks like we are making $6.11 a day. Again, this is after 10 cents kilowatt hour. The Antminer L79050, looks like mine is down at Terra Hosting. I am making $3.91 a day. That is what they charge per ASIC, 10 cents kilowatt hour. So if you guys are interested, link is in the description below. We have the X4Q over here making $3.47 a day. Let's scroll down. Let's see. Ice River KS0 Pro 200 gigahash unit. This is making $1.26 per day, which is pretty terrible, but it's all right. It's all right. I got 8 of them, so I'm making about 10 bucks a day with my 8 units right here, a little under 10 bucks a day. But actually I lied. Mine's worse because the electric rate's higher. So this is what it is. Can you guys hear me? Everything's good. No sound. What do you mean no sound? Crypto backer, turn up your phone. I hope there's sound. Man, all right. Thank you. All right, let's see. Hit that like button, guys. Appreciate you for coming back to the stream. All right, let's check out GPUs, then we're gonna get into this because man, I am very, very aggravated right now that crashed on me. Look at this. All these looks like a plethora of coins today. Chlor AI back on the top of the charts. Pretty neat. We have this is, what is this one? Why do I always forget? Cortex. I was gonna say that, but I wasn't sure. Cortex. We have Nexa, Pyron. Looks like Carlson, Conflux, and Radiant, Xano. Man, a lot of coins on the top of the charts today. Interesting. Beam. Is anybody mine Beam? Actually, is anybody into Beam? Let me know. Cancium, is that what it is? Cancium. There you go. Thank you, Crypto KJ. Cancium. I'm gonna say it the same way I do it. I thought there was an X in there. Is there an X in there? There's an X in there. I don't care. I'm pronouncing it just like that stupid X egg. Nobody can pronounce it properly. All right. There's no Z in it. I'm not going to say it like a Z if there's no Z. You know what I'm saying, as a pirate? All right. Anyways, guys, there is a whole bunch of coins that are profitable on GPUs. So obviously this is hashrate.no. If you guys are interested, come check it out. It's probably the best like reference that you guys are going to find for your GPUs, just to kind of, you know, get what's out there, but take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, I think their wattage that they pull here is in the software, not at the wall. So you're probably going to have to add like 50 watts or something, depending on what your setup is, right? Look at this Pepe Pow. What the hell? This coin's still around? I thought that was rugged. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about it though. Pepe Pow is it's been one of those coins that we're always I don't know, skeptical of, let's say, right? No, Jason Mining. No, I don't care. I don't care if that's how they spell xylophone. I don't care. It sounds terrible. It's the worst trade. I mean, the worst exchange name ever. Whoever came up with that needs to like just quit. Just quit your job right now. All right, let's get into the news stuff because I'm getting a little antsy today. Looks like Bitcoin looks to rebound. Let's hear what CNBC television has to say. We're going to get into actually a few different things today. We're going to watch who is this? So CNBC television, obviously, with Kathy Wood. She comes on. Then Team Underground, this guy right here. Do not sell your Bitcoin right now. We'll get into that shortly. So guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Meantime, Bitcoin is higher today, trading just below 40K. The cryptocurrency has fallen about 15% since the launch of those ETFs, and one of those big funds seen a lot of money leaving. Kate Rooney is following all that action today. Morning, Kate.
Hey, Carl. Good morning. Yeah, Bitcoin ETFs have seen more than $1 billion in net inflows so far, but there is one firm with by far the most money heading out the door. That is Grayscale. In the past day alone, it's seen about $640 million of outflows. That's according to FactSet. And then Fundstrat, meanwhile, estimates that since these ETFs launched, Grayscale's seen about $3.5 billion in outflows. If you compare that to the other top names in this race, take BlackRock's ETF, it saw $1.6 billion come in the door, and then Fidelity's ETF not far behind that. You can see those on the left side of the chart there. Grayscale is still the largest, about $21 billion in assets compared to under $2 billion for BlackRock. There are a few reasons, guys, for that exodus. One is this successful arbitrage trade. Grayscale had an existing publicly traded product, and then it converted into an ETF. And before it was an ETF,
yeah, they were thinking that everybody that when they converted it, everyone was going to stay and just pay their high ass fees that they decided to charge like 6 times more than everybody else. And clearly that didn't work out.
TC, the ticker is known, traded at a discount to Bitcoin. So some traders got in and they bet that that discount would disappear, which it did. Now they're taking some profits. And then there are bankruptcies. So companies like FTX held GBTC and they're now selling as they restructure. FTX, for example, had about 22 million shares of Grayscale, and that's adding to some pressure, according to Fundstrat. And then those fees, guys, Grayscale charges 1.5% compared to 0 or around 2% for some of the other 0.2% rather for some of the other ETFs. Bitcoin's price is still very much driven by some of the macro news out there. It's still a lot more important right now to watch things like strength in the dollar, repricing of Fed fund futures, FOMC meeting next week to get an idea of where interest rates are headed. So some of the same things that are driving tech are still really what matters in crypto markets.
All right, let's check out what Kathy Wood has to say. They kind of like cut her off really quick there. All right, Kathy Wood over here. She talks about Tesla a little bit at the beginning. I guess Tesla is down quite a bit as of right now. And I don't know, DJ, let us know if it's a good thing to invest in right now.
Also want to ask you about the commentary we did hear from Musk on X not that long ago, where he basically suggested he wanted 25% voting control at Tesla before fulfilling this AI goal at the company. As a key shareholder, how do you feel about that?
You know, Elon Musk is a
She got them thick ass glasses today.
Visionary leader. He's our Renaissance man. He's the inventor of our age. And in this market dynamic where investors are very short-term oriented, they want their profits now, their dividends now, their share repurchases now. We are looking for visionary leaders to stand up to short-term oriented shareholders because they need to invest aggressively now to capitalize on some of the biggest opportunities in our lifetime. So we're all for it.
I want to shift gears here a little bit. Bitcoin, your Bitcoin ETF debuted about a week ago now. We've seen the price of Bitcoin come off since those approvals were greenlit, and we've seen shares of ETFs, including ARK21 shares Bitcoin ETF, come off as well. Is this a sell the news dynamic? Is something else at play here? How do you think about that now that we actually have these instruments in the market to track Bitcoin in a more material way?
Yes. Well, we're very excited that Bitcoin now is in the ETF wrapper and therefore very accessible at very low prices. What we do have, and there was speculation beforehand, will this be a sell on the news? We said yes, and then we were hearing that so much that we thought, well, maybe not. Well, it turns out that FTX is, I guess it's nearly $1 billion in GBTC, has been sold as this Bitcoin, as the Bitcoin ETF has come out.
So that explains a little bit of money coming out of the market. $1 billion from FTX. Even though they're through their bankruptcy, they can still sell this shit? Like what?
And I think that's been part of the pressure. I do think there's sell on the news because I think some people expected it to hold a little more than it has. But this has not disturbed our point of view at all. We think this is one of the most important investments of our lifetimes. This is a global rules-based monetary system. And it's a very big idea. And we think it's the biggest of all of the crypto ideas out there. So we're very happy to be a part of this movement.
Okay.
Providing more access to Bitcoin. This is the financial superhighway, a public good, and therefore we have priced it accordingly. But we're very excited about the prospects. Our price target, as you know, is quite high if you give us a time horizon to 2030.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Shout out to Kathy Wood for that real quick. Let's see. In the chat, we have, where is it? I just saw it. I thought it was Crypto KJ. Sorry, I was trying to tweet something out. Let's see. Zapira, yes, sir. Awful. All right, I can't find it. I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's get into the next thing here. We're looking at Crypto World CNBC television. Bitcoin wrestles with 40,000 as it tries to recover recent losses, which has obviously been tough. Guys, still like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin rebounds to the $40,000 mark. A Colorado pastor faces civil fraud charges for the crypto token he says God told him to launch. And Adam Sullivan, the CEO of Core Scientific, discusses the crypto miner strategy as it exits bankruptcy and relists shares on the NASDAQ.
Crypto KJ, I swear you said something and now I can't find it. Did you remove it from the chat? Let me know.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Digital currencies recovering this morning after selling pressure pushed Bitcoin below $39,000 yesterday. By noon Eastern today, that cryptocurrency was back above the $40,000 mark. Ether also on the rise, trading at $22.40, and Polygon's Matic token climbed to 74 cents. Now, Kathy Wood over at ARK Invest spoke with CNBC's Closing Bell Overtime about the recent crypto sell-off and what might be driving it.
There was speculation beforehand, will this be a sell on the news? We said yes, and then we were hearing that so much that we thought, well, maybe not. Well, it turns out that FTX is, I guess it's nearly $1 billion in GBTC, has been sold as this Bitcoin, as the Bitcoin ETF has come out. And I think that's been part of the pressure. I do think there's sell on the news because I think some people expected it to hold a little more than it has. But this has not disturbed our point of view at all. We think this is one of the most important investments of our lifetimes. This is a global rules-based monetary system.
It was actually Game with Smokey Dan in the chat. He said, but are they selling off holder BTC, as was that also mixed, or was it just fiat? No, I'm assuming it's whatever funds they had left to pay back creditors FTX would have sold for. If I'm not mistaken, they're already under fire. They're not going to do anything shady anymore. I mean, we would assume, right?
Okay, let's talk about the top story.
It wasn't Crypto KJ, my bad.
A Colorado pastor and his wife are facing civil fraud charges after allegedly stealing more than $1 million in a crypto fraud scheme, which he says the Lord told him to launch. According to the Colorado Division of Securities, Eli and Caitlin Regalado ran INDX coin and claimed that God told him that people would become wealthy if they invested. The agency alleges INDX coin raised about $3.2 million, but that $1.3 million of that went to the Regalados themselves.
What? God told him to? Is that for real? Is that for real? That happened? This guy? This guy stole your money?
The pair couldn't be reached for comment by NBC News,
What a
but in a now
loser.
private video statement, Eli said that it was true that they pocketed the $1 million. He said that some went to the IRS and some went to a home remodel that he claims the Lord told them to do.
Someone to the IRS and someone to a home remodel. What?
He went on to say, quote, "We took God at his word and sold a cryptocurrency with no clear exit, and that he asked the Lord where the liquidity would come from and was told, trust me."
This is why crypto gets a bad name. This is why crypto gets a bad rap. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Next, crypto lender Nexo is suing Bulgaria for billions in damages over the country's criminal investigation into the company. Bulgaria launched a probe into Nexo back at the start of 2023, claiming in part that its founders participated in organized crime. That investigation came to an end in December when the country's regulators found no wrongdoing. In a statement released this morning, Nexo said it was seeking more than $3 billion in damages for the investigation. It claims its brand and reputation were damaged, lucrative business was lost, and was considering an IPO in the U.S. at the time of the investigation, which then fell apart. We reached out to the prosecutor's office mentioned in the statement, but haven't heard back. Nexo also faced legal action here in the U.S. last year when it paid a $45 million penalty to the SEC for failing to register its crypto lending product with the agency. All right, turning to Core Scientific for our main story. Just over a year after filing for bankruptcy, the crypto miner has completed the reorganization process. As part of that, the company is relisting shares on the NASDAQ. CNBC's Mackenzie Sagalis caught up with the CEO of Core Scientific to find out what's ahead for the miner, especially before the halving in just a few months.
Oh, let's see.
Okay, so let's start by talking about the future of Core Scientific. Your company is returning to the NASDAQ, and before filing for bankruptcy, you guys were one of the biggest Bitcoin miners out there. But you're re-entering the public market at a time when names like CleanSpark, Riot, and Marathon Digital are trading much higher. They've also captured market share. Is this sort of a rising tide lifts all ships kind of moment, or are you looking to capture market share back while you work to pay off debt?
Yeah, I think the future for Core Scientific looks strong today. I mean, a good stat to go back to is the fact that Core Scientific, even through our reorganization process, led all publicly traded mining companies in number of Bitcoin mined in 2023. But this goes to our pragmatic and cost-effective growth strategy going forward. We'll be increasing our infrastructure over the course of the next 3 years by over 50%. We're continuing to install new miners over the course of the first half of this year to increase our exahash and increase our efficiency. And we're coming out of this with a much stronger balance sheet. You know, we're putting additional cash on balance sheet, and also we have a capital structure that's allowing for opportunities to delever our balance sheet even further. So from our perspective, the future for Core Scientific looks very bright.
Right, so you just went through that 13-month bankruptcy process. What else is changing about your business model that investors should know about?
You know, our business model is continuing to evolve. You know, something that we've looked at over the course of 2023, you know, to go back, we were a market leader across a number of different areas, you know, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's Bitcoins mined. But for us, it's not about just being the biggest anymore, or one of the biggest. It's about being the most efficient and the most productive. And so we're continuing to evolve, and we're going to be driving additional shareholder value via all of the initiatives that we're working on today.
So you've managed to slash around $400 million in debt. It's still a multi-year plan to deal with paying the rest of it back. What does that look like?
Yeah, so
Real quick, Geek of All Trades in the chat said, when Core filed bankruptcy, they left millions in unpaid power costs that got pushed off to the towns they were mining in, including one in Georgia. Really? He said, so everyone else's power bill went up and Core left town. F them. Wow, that's messed up. That's messed up.
So the nice part about the capital
For those of you that don't know, Geek of All Trades used to live in Georgia.
structure that we have is we have very limited debt maturity over the course of the first 3 years. And there's optionality embedded in that capital structure that provides us with opportunities such as a mandatory convertible note that represents nearly 50% of our outstanding debt at emergence. So from our perspective, it's the convertible notes. It's also warrants that are provided to existing equity holders. Both areas are opportunities for us to delever based on market performance or the stock performing well over the course of the next few years.
That's messed up, Geek of All Trades. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Okay, so a couple imminent headwinds, including the recent price drop in Bitcoin after all the spot ETF exuberance wore off, as well as the halving coming up this April. It could be a make or break moment for many in the industry as revenue gets cut in half overnight. How are you thinking about the market backdrop right now and what that means for core and the mining sector more broadly?
Yeah, any short-term price volatility is something that we've weathered before. You can expect a market cycle in Bitcoin nearly every single year. So the short-term price volatility, especially around some of the more recent announcements, like the ETFs, those don't really change our business plan at all. Now, as we think about the halving, it's something that we as a company have been through in an institutional scale previously. So looking forward, we're really mainly focused on how do we improve our operations, how do we improve our energy, and how do we improve our software stack. We have all three of those items in spades, and that's something that will be the thing that carries us and is unique to Core Scientific as we approach this upcoming halving.
Real quick, the Mullah Miner said, I live in Georgia now. What town was this in? Mr. Geek of all trades, if you could tell him, that'd be awesome.
Now, there's a whole startup ecosystem popping up on top of Bitcoin, which could be great for miners in terms of generating additional fees. Any thoughts on this or any other trends that you're seeing on this front?
Yeah, miners obviously love additional fees on the network, but from our perspective, we want the network to continue to grow. And I think
in Dalton, he said, I don't know if that's near you, Mullah, but that's crazy.
What we're seeing today, as you noted, we're seeing more applications being used on top of the Bitcoin network. That's a positive for not only the network today, but also the long-term health, especially as we see folks like BlackRock and other large financial institutions who are now generating revenue via ETFs and other mechanisms will be investing in the future of the Bitcoin network. And that's going to drive additional transactions as well.
You mentioned spot ETFs, which were just approved by the SEC a few weeks ago. It cemented Bitcoin's place as an asset class that's here to stay. But since then, it's really been a sell the news event. Do you have any final thoughts on the state of the industry and the evolution of the Bitcoin network from here?
Every single year since Bitcoin was created, adoption as awareness has increased. So large institutions coming into this market is only going to drive additional adoption. And when you have pension funds investing in this industry as well, you're going to see a much different growth trajectory for the Bitcoin network. And that's what we're most excited about today.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today. We'll be back again tomorrow. And
shout out to CNBC television for that. All right, give me 1 second, fellas. I need to put the link to this new stream in this morning's video. I just had to mute it real quick, and I gotta pin it because yeah, we got broken at the beginning of the stream. Part 2 here. Let me just pin this quick, and then we're good to go, just so people know where to go. And if you don't mind, while you're waiting, please hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. I really do hate asking. It's so annoying, but whatever. All right, let's get back into this. Should be good now. All right, so now we're gonna get on to the videos of stuff. So this is Team Underground. Actually, do not sell your Bitcoin right now. This is your last chance. So I want to see what he has to say here, and just looking at this chart alone is fantastic, right, guys? If you don't know who he is, go check him out. I have a link to his channel in the description below. Let's do it.
Alright everybody, so this chart pretty much 100% predicts where the Bitcoin price is going to go. I mean, it is just absolutely that easy. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly to you guys why I think the Bitcoin price is pretty much 100% guaranteed going to follow this path, and why I'm currently all into Bitcoin. And trust me, I think Bitcoin is going to go to some very, very high levels. And I think that right now there's a little bit of FUD in the market because we had this big BlackRock ETF. A lot of people were expecting some kind of continuation to the upside, but we're not really seeing that yet. And all of that pretty much makes sense. In the last few videos, I basically explained that, well, first of all, we went up to a very important resistance level, the 61.8 extension on the Fibonacci tool. And as well, of course, this was a very clear sell.
Obviously, this isn't the exactly what's going to happen, right? But looking back the last couple of halvings, I mean, it's pretty apparent.
The news event. What we actually got here is we got the ETF futures launch here back at the autumn high, and then eventually we had this dump to the downside. We had something called the backed futures, which happened here as well, right over here in 2019, and then eventually we saw a significant correction as well to the downside. And right over here at the top of the previous bull market, we actually saw that the CMA futures got launched here exactly at the top, and again, that as well indicated the top here for the Bitcoin price. And
I've been watching this guy, just so you guys know, I've been watching this guy for quite some time, and he's usually pretty on point with a lot of his trades. And the more of the reason I'm watching this is because, like, I don't really do charting stuff, right? But it's obviously good for you guys to pay attention to this, and not, like, it helps people not panic and freak out when the price is going down, right? If you guys look at the overall trajectory of where Bitcoin's actually going.
Again, we got a very beautiful spot Bitcoin BlackRock ETF, but to be honest, it was very clear from the start that this was going to be a sell the news event, and currently we are pretty much seeing that playing out. Now, don't be worried, because I think actually the lower Bitcoin will go, the better. And it sounds maybe really weird, but in the end of the video, you're probably going to understand exactly what I'm talking about. And that is because we actually have the halving here moving forward. It is pretty much going to be guaranteed, as always, no financial advice, but in my opinion, it's going to be guaranteed that the Bitcoin price is going to have a significant rally to the upside, which means that if the price is going to get a pullback, especially after or before the halving, whenever we see a significant pullback, that is an opportunity to buy Bitcoin. It's not an opportunity to stress or to worry. Again, it's an opportunity to buy Bitcoin. And the strategy that really makes sense here, and the strategy that I'm going to apply right now, is to have a little bit of fiat to the side around the halving, because generally before or after halving you see a significant crash. So first of all, if I go here to the halving that happened back here in 2016, we actually can see that after the halving we crashed about 40%. So that was a crazy significant pullback, and after that we saw a significant rally to the upside. Now back in 2020 we saw about a 50%, well, this was about a 60% correction. Eventually then we had this move to the upside. Now, before you're going to actually tell me, Thomas, this was all, because of the pandemic, it wasn't really related to something Bitcoin, and, it's probably not going to happen again. And I agree with that this was mainly because of the pandemic, but I think that even without the pandemic, Bitcoin would have still easily crashed 40%. That was the prediction at the time that I had. And even before the whole pandemic, Bitcoin was already moving to the downside. So the idea that, Bitcoin is going to dump before or after halving, that is pretty solid regardless. What we're seeing right now is that we're probably going to start dumping here before the halving, in my opinion. I mean, we got the BlackRock ETF, and I think that probably until April of this year, which is again when the halving is going to take place, we are probably going to see a little bit of a downtrend here to the downside. Back here in 2019, you can actually see that we had a kind of like a falling wedge type structure. You can actually see that we came here to the upside a few times. We had a 40% pump, eventually we came back down. We went sideways until eventually we broke it here to the upside.
Obviously, he said this is the COVID crash. That's where things just kind of went squirrely on pretty much every chart. It's hard to chart something like that.
We still went sideways a little bit further, and then eventually we had this bull market. Something like this, again, could very well play out, where we see the price, going up to the upside, to the downside, kind of shaking people out here and there, and then eventually after the halving, probably a few months after the halving, we see that significant rally to the upside. Now,
this is when the big guys accumulate right now before the halving. That's pretty much what's happening, at least in my opinion. But I want to know what's going to happen in the next 20 days or so, if that money from the GBTC sell-off actually goes into something else.
The thing actually is, and this is going to be quite important, is that even when the halving actually happens, we actually don't really see that the halving effect kicks in immediately. Generally speaking, it takes about, last time it took about 200 days before we eventually broke the all-time high. And you can actually see that, the whole rally to the upside, I guess it kind of started about 60 days after the halving, or you could say maybe about 120 days after the halving. That's when the trend really started to the upside. But for us to break the all-time high, it took about 200 days. So back in 2016 as well, you can actually see that, yes, we did eventually relatively quickly start the uptrend into the upside. About 60 days after the halving, we saw that already the price was moving to the upside, but it took quite a while before we eventually broke here the previous all-time high. It took about 250 days. This took about 250 days. So let's actually apply that right now to
the 250 days. This one was 203 days. I wonder if it's going to be quicker. Do you guys think it's going to be quicker this time or longer this time?
Current price. So let's say 250 days, maybe a little bit less, 200 days. That probably means that we're going to see that Bitcoin is going to break all-time high this year, probably around December or November. Well, I think probably this year, maybe next year, January, but regardless of that, it's probably going to be less than a year, which means that the halving is going to kick in around April. It probably means that we're going to start moving to the upside quite rapidly after that, as you can actually...
I think it's going to be quicker, says Big Black. Way too fast for you, says 200 days. It's, so it cut it about 50 days or so from the first time from here where he's showing, right? This is what, is this 2017? Yeah, 2017, then 2021, right? So it was 50 days less in 2021 after the halving for the run up to really break all-time high, more or less. And then we have obviously this one coming up. Who knows?
We see here back here in the previous cycle, we actually saw it 60 days after.
I would assume Q4 this year, probably like November-ish.
Halving, eventually we had this move to the upside. We didn't really break lower after that, and as well,
to be real, any type of charting is really guessing at the end of the day. But it's nice to like get an overall look at where things could go.
Here back in 2016, you can actually see that we start to bottom out here, and we started this uptrend here about 60 days after the halving as well. which means that at that point in time, about 60 days after the halving, you may see a little bit of a correction to the downside. You may see a little bit of sideways action regardless of that. But at that point in time, it's going to be pretty much clear that Bitcoin is not going to move any lower. So from that point on, you're going to see probably the uptrend continues and continues to move it to the upside. And then about 250 days after halving, that's when you're going to see it breaking the all-time high. And then once it breaks the all-time high, generally speaking, it goes to significant high levels. And at that point, $100,000, $200,000 US dollar wouldn't really be that crazy. Now, first of all, very quickly announcement, if you actually want to join my Discord, it's completely for free. All you have to do is again, so we can pretty much say here that probably at the end of this year, Bitcoin is going to break all-time high. And I think that any correction to the downside is probably going to be an absolute beautiful buy opportunity. Now, how deep it's exactly going to go, I'm not entirely sure yet. Again, we could have, again, a falling wedge pattern, which is going to be annoying. But regardless of that, I think that generally speaking, if you just kind of buy around the halving, maybe start doing some DCAing, I think generally speaking, you're going to be fine. So what I'm going to probably do is, I'm probably going to buy a bunch of Bitcoin about 60 days after the halving, as we've seen here, back here in the last 2 cycles. Generally speaking, that's when the Bitcoin price bottoms. So at that point, you pretty much have a guaranteed profit. It sounds very unrealistic, but that's just how I currently look at the Bitcoin price. It's really not that difficult if you, again, know how the Bitcoin price works. Now, I want to very quickly talk about the stock market. The stock market is rallying here to the upside. So we can already see that the stock market here broke the all-time high. Now, Bitcoin generally doesn't just instantly react to whatever the stock market is doing. There tends to be a little bit of a delay. So the stock market can rally to the upside and Bitcoin can actually dump and go a little bit sideways. But generally speaking, whatever the stock market is going to go, that does indicate the kind of indication where Bitcoin is probably going to go here in the long term. Again, we do see a significant correlation between the stock market and the Bitcoin price. Now, what is very important right now is that the higher the stock market actually goes, the lower that the dollar goes, which is probably going to happen next year when the Fed's going to lower interest rates, together with that halving, and that's going to drive up the Bitcoin price further, which is going to be absolutely insane. That we have this halving already, we have this BlackRock ETF, but with all of things that are going on, we're probably going to see that the Bitcoin price is going to go much further than a lot of people are actually going to be expecting. So I think a lot of people, maybe they're going to be a little bit conservative. They're going to say $100,000 US, but together with the Federal Reserve lowering interest rate, maybe restarting quantitative easing, and the stock market having such a significant rally to the upside, together with potentially the dollar falling to the downside, I think that's just pretty much going to set up an absolutely beautiful scenario here for Bitcoin to have an absolutely significant rally to the upside, which I think could go as high as $200,000 US. So I think that everything is basically setting up here for Bitcoin.
So he's saying 200K it could go up to? I mean, obviously he didn't do much charting here, but he's kind of just going off of what the halvings, what has happened after the halving, and how much it's significantly risen since.
Going to have a significant rally to the upside. We have to be a little bit patient regardless what's going to happen with the correction. I hope it can go to 30,000. At that point in time, everyone is going to be bearish. But if you look at the chart right over here, is that let's say we are going to go down to maybe as low as like $27,000 US. Would it be the end of the world? Would it mean that the uptrend has been broken? No. After that, we're going to get the halving and everything is going to be fine. So the lower Bitcoin is going to go, the better. And if we are going to hit something like 30,000, then I'm definitely going to be looking to buy. So
you know what? I think he's right. If it goes down to 30,000, people are going to be freaking out. But let's think about it like this, right? First off, shout out to him for just kind of putting that into a little bit of perspective for us. But do you guys honestly think that BlackRock and these bigger companies are going to launch ETFs, right, in anticipation that all of their customers are just going to lose money immediately? Like there is no chance in hell they're going to allow that to happen once these ETFs, are approved. Miss Pocket Change, good morning. Thanks for stopping by. All right, let's get over here to Mr. Altcoin Daily. Again, what we do here for anybody that's new to the channel, appreciate you guys for hanging out. We basically go over what I would typically do by myself with all of you guys. I typically watch Mr. Altcoin Daily's videos. Over here, we have Bitcoin whales suppressing price. Let's see. Says it's not the coin you think. I have not watched this yet, so let's see what's going on inside. Hit that like button, guys. Appreciate you.
Bitcoin whales are suppressing the price. History is repeating once again. Bitcoin tends to retrace approximately 100 days before the halving, and this time looks to be no different. Many people are attributing this Bitcoin sell-off to simply Grayscale dumping their Bitcoin. This
Grayscale and FTX, right?
Cannot be further from the truth. This is the real reason why Bitcoin's dipping. Listen closely, and then after we'll talk about how price is still being suppressed.
Bitcoin coming off, and we do mean coming off the euphoria of its big ETF milestone, down 16% since the 10th of January. So who's doing the selling? Kate Rooney knows. Hi, Kate.
Hey, Tyler. Yeah, so part of the crypto selling we've seen lately, it has to do with this loss in enthusiasm around that ETF launch. But leverage is also a big factor here, and it's an increasingly dominant force in these markets. Analysts over at Glassnode point out the buildup in Bitcoin leverage and open interest between January 9th and 11th. That was when the ETF speculation peaked. Prices neared 49,000 at that point. And then that was followed by this wipeout in some of those positions. Prices fell, and then you saw this Bitcoin sell-off over that weekend. As really what you would call
It's honestly kind of funny, right? It's these ETFs launch, the stuff goes up to 49,000 and then breaks down to 39. It's kind of like a big FU to the guys that didn't want to get into Bitcoin on their own, and just kind of showing them like, hey, listen, we could shake you out regardless of, your money coming in. It's just kind of, it's funny because there's OGs in Bitcoin that have would never purchase this ETF. You know what I mean? It's just funny.
A sell the news event, popular in the hedge fund world, which some investors did worry about heading into this ETF approval. Crypto-related stocks like Coinbase, for example, they're also getting hit this week. JP Morgan.
You know what? That was actually a good question. Do you guys invest into like Coinbase stocks at all? Does anybody here invest into them? Because I was actually thinking about it, if it's a good idea to get into that and get into Tesla, because they're both pretty much down right now.
Morgan downgraded Coinbase, at least, saying today that they think a key catalyst for the crypto industry in those Bitcoin ETFs has been what they called overestimated by the crypto community. They acknowledge that Coinbase, they think, is
It wasn't overestimated by us. It was overestimated by everybody getting into the ETFs. We were all buying Bitcoin on the sides. Let's see. Yes, Coin and CONY ETF. I don't know what that is, Mr. Shakester. No. Everybody says no. Really? Well, the only reason I'm saying like Coinbase might be a good, think about it, right? Coinbase is literally, what is it? 11 out of 13. What the hell are they called? God, I can't even think of the word. What are they called? I can't think of the word. Not active participants. What's the word? I know you guys know. But anyways, they help out like 11 out of 13 of these ETFs, right? They're the guys that actually, more deep in content, please. Custodian, thank you. God, I couldn't think of the word. They are the custodian of 11 out of 13 of these ETFs, which is a big deal, right? So when these ETFs actually eventually pop off where, Bitcoin's trading way higher, do you guys honestly think the Coinbase stock's not going to go higher? Like, they're controlling all this shit. Just this is how it is.
Dominant U.S. exchange and a leader in the space, but they think the catalyst in those Bitcoin ETFs, they say that has pushed the ecosystem out of its winter, and they say it's still going to disappoint market participants. JP Morgan does expect the ETF enthusiasm to further deflate, as they described it, driving prices lower, along with lower ancillary revenue opportunities for firms like Coinbase.
And with the fees, yeah, Carl Code, exactly. Like, there's no chance they're not going to be going up.
Over you guys.
So to be 100%,
at least in my opinion, seriously, when the ETFs pop off and they actually get appreciation from Bitcoin, Coinbase is going to win on the fees because they're the custodian at the end of the day for all of these ETFs. Do you know what I mean? Or most of them anyways. Just makes sense.
Clear. Prices going down because leverage has been flushed out, because JP Morgan issued that critical statement against Bitcoin, and just overall, Bitcoin's been running up for so long. This is just natural, the ebbs and flows of the market. Nothing just goes up forever. If you think that Bitcoin is just going down because Grayscale is selling, you could not be further from the truth. Understand, Grayscale is part
It definitely has something to do with it. It's definitely not everything to do with it.
But you have to remember, net ETF inflows have been positive. So post-ETF launch, we've actually seen positive buying pressure. Now, 9 spot Bitcoin ETFs each have 100,000 Bitcoin in them after just 7 days. And actually taking a look at the most recent update of inflows. Now, I love this write-up from Invest Answers, Bitcoin ETF Day 8 update, Bitcoin ETF fund flows after 8 days just now. Yesterday, we said the bottom was close as the Grayscale selling slows down. So the bad news is that Grayscale is still dumping a lot, but slowing down. And also BlackRock is slowing a bit. Their positive buy pressure. Fidelity is holding strong. That's the bad news. The good news is that BlackRock has 44,000 Bitcoin assets under management. Fidelity has 40,000 Bitcoin assets under management. The majority of the sell-off involved FTX, which completed by day 8. Today,
oh my God, look at number 4.
Day 9 should be a lot less. ETFs absorbed all 100,000 Bitcoin from Grayscale and have grown by an additional 21,000 Bitcoin in 8 days. The ETFs alone are sucking in 15 times the daily Bitcoin supply created. This is really big, my friends.
But they still have a
so
decent
really,
amount.
the real reason this is happening is just leverage, natural progression of the market, and Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan fudding the hell out of crypto. Even Jamie Dimon personally taking the time to FUD it himself.
Yeah, but gold's limited
Oh, he is such a pain in the ass.
supply.
So is Bitcoin.
And it's been used. So you think so, huh?
I love this. Oh, man, I always forget his name. The older guy to the left on CNBC. He always calls out people when they shit on Bitcoin. It's great.
I think there's a good chance that when we get to that 20 million Bitcoins,
they go to 42.
No, that Satoshi's going to come on there, laugh
Satoshi.
hysterically, go quiet, all Bitcoin's going to be erased.
I think, man.
How the hell do you know it's going to stop at 21? I've never met one person who told me they know for a fact. They take that
mathematically, it's not.
How would people know for a fact?
Now, I don't think
How would anybody know for a fact what happens in 2040, 21, like 40 or whatever it is? Like, we're all going to be dead. Nobody knows who Satoshi is, so we don't know what's true or false.
heard a better response to JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon than this. I love this response. This is great.
What do I think about Jeffrey Epstein's banker?
I just want to know what this kid does for a living. Like, he has an entire closet that is bigger than most people's basements. It's completely empty. What happened here? I think she left. This is what Bitcoin does to you guys. Sucks your life out. Sucks the life out of you, literally.
That distributed, decentralized, open public money could potentially be used for bad things. Sitting on a ski resort in Davos, I don't really care. I don't know why anyone cares, right? I mean, that guy knows when money's used for bad things. So it's a weird opinion of his. And my pet rock was up, as you said, 160% last year. It performed well against the dollar. So I don't know. I don't really care what that guy has to say about Bitcoin. I don't know why anybody does.
Bro, I want that closet though. I think that's insane. You guys looking at this? Like, it's crazy. They got a freaking, they got a counter in here. For who knows what.
It is actually refreshing to hear Kathy
man.
Wood's take on all this, because if there's maybe one person who should be worried about Bitcoin ETFs after they get listed, I mean, Kathy Wood has put her reputation on the line saying these Bitcoin ETFs are bullish. So, after the fact, what does she think? I thought this was interesting.
Well, it turns out that FTX is, I guess it's nearly $1 billion in GBTC, has been sold as the Bitcoin ETF has come out. And I think that's been part of the pressure. I do think there's sell on the news because I think some people expected it to hold a little more than it has. But this has not disturbed our point of view at all. We think this is one of the most important investments of our lifetimes. This is a global rules-based monetary system, and it's a very big idea. And we think it's the biggest of all of the crypto ideas out there. So
you guys got to understand, the ETF also is just like a blip compared to the halving. Like the halving, there's always it's a cut in supply, so it makes it even more of a finite asset than it already is. So the less that's out there, the more appreciation the coin itself actually gets. This ETF is just kind of like I don't know, you wouldn't really call it a black swan. They call it a white swan event, right? Because it's actually positive for the market overall. But at the end of the day, you're not going to really see these gains, at least in my opinion, until after the halving. And you guys just saw it was like, what, 200 days after typically?
we're very happy to be a part of this movement.
Okay.
Providing more access to Bitcoin. This is the financial superhighway, a public good, and therefore we have priced it accordingly. But we're very excited about the prospects. Our price target, as you know, is quite high if you give us a time horizon to 2030.
Bitcoin.
Also, don't forget, May is the deadline, I believe, for the Ethereum ETF approval or denial, right? And I think they can extend it longer if I'm not mistaken, but some people actually have ETFs for Ethereum actually already applied for.
Whales are suppressing the price. That's the statement I began this video with. Throughout this video, I think I have shown you a few ways the price is being suppressed in ways that are generally accepted in the mainstream. Jamie Dimon fudding it, leverage getting flushed out. Bitcoin whales are suppressing the price. The asset I was talking about is Ethereum. Bitcoin whales are suppressing.
Exactly what I was just saying. Don't forget about the Ethereum ETFs because those are coming, and he's probably going to talk about them here. I honestly haven't watched this yet.
The price of Ethereum is what I think. There are many reasons to be bullish on Ethereum. We talk about these reasons all the time. One big catalyst, which is still coming up, is BlackRock's Ethereum ETF, which will get delayed, but eventually it will get approved. And for every reason.
Why... You know what's weird about that, actually? So, like, the thing that bothers me or kind of freaks me out about the ETFs with Ethereum is the fact that it's not, I mean, they say it's a finite asset, but it's not. Like, it's really not. They can continue to print it whenever they want, even though they're burning coins or whatever. And someone said it yesterday that the Vitalik actually admitted that he had the keys to the burn wallets. If you have the keys to the burn wallets, you're not really burning the coin then. It's not disappearing. Like, somebody owns it. You typically, you actually own it if you have the keys to that wallet. So, I don't know. That's a little sketchy to me. But the fact that Ethereum is unlimited, if the government took over Ethereum, like tinfoil hat time, right? If the government took over Ethereum, they could just print it like they print the dollar. Nothing's going to change. You know what I mean? That's the only like reservation I really have about Ethereum.
Bitcoiners said...
But, I mean, that doesn't say that it's not going to go far because it does literally run a shit ton of different cryptocurrencies on their network. So
a spot Bitcoin ETF instrument would be incredibly bullish for the price of Bitcoin. The same is true for Ethereum. Now, of course, there are differences.
Real quick, Alvidus, yes, he said, wow, Vitalik has the burn keys, WTF. Yeah, that's apparently, that somebody said it yesterday. I think it was Dan R, maybe? I don't know. Somebody in the chat said that to us. And I don't know how true it is, but that is kind of crazy.
Between Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I listened to the rest of Jack Mallers' statement, and, you know, the statement was pretty par for the course of what I expected him to say, but he took some time to FUD Ethereum hard. Now, in the comments, he commented back to me, said, what part of what I said is FUD? This is the facts on Ethereum.
Oh, is he getting in a little tiff over here? This guy's name, Jack Mallers? He's actually a very smart dude, by the way. I don't follow him on Twitter, but I probably should now.
Are any of those not true? I mean, he framed it in a way that was definitely FUD. You know, I responded saying, you know, there's so much more to the story of Ethereum and crypto than what Bitcoin maximalists would lead the general public to believe, including in this video. Great overall job with the interview, though. Always inspiring to hear you speak about Bitcoin only. But you tell me what you think. Ethereum's price is getting suppressed by Bitcoin whales. This is what I mean.
Yeah, so to be clear, me personally and my company, we are a Bitcoin company. I'm a Bitcoiner. I think crypto is a load of garbage. I think it's generally a distraction to what this technology and this movement represents and is here to change. And so how the world is going to sort out the fact that some kid named Vitalik Buterin printed a lot of coins in his basement and then pre-sold them to people and has been promising all sorts of crazy things that have never happened.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. Is that a security? But I guess the point is I don't care. Everyone knows that Bitcoin has regulatory clarity.
That was a bold statement. That was a bold statement.
That Bitcoin is now officially on Wall Street, that Bitcoin is distributed, it works, its monetary policy has never changed, and that's why I'm here.
Wow.
I'm here to change the world through Bitcoin and push Bitcoin as far as we can as humanity and society. So the
wow, that's kind of crazy. I can't believe he actually shit on Ethereum that hard on TV. That's nuts. But at the same time, like I said, I mean, he's not wrong. He's really not wrong. The fact that it's, you know, it's 1,000% not capped. Like you can just print it whenever you want, or he could, right? Once the government gets a hold of him, I mean, all they got to do is squeeze him a little bit, and he's gonna, you know what I mean? He's gonna print away, and I don't know.
I think altcoins are arbitrages on this trend. I don't think they'll be around, you know, by the time I die. I imagine, you know, what is Dogecoin going to do for society?
He's not wrong. He's not wrong there, actually.
Over the next 20 years. Come on.
Altcoins. Most altcoins are probably going to disappear at some point.
So do I want to hold Ethereum? Ethereum's a tech play. Ethereum's a gamble that Jamie Dimon's going to use it. What'd he say in his ski resort Davos interview, that he's going to use it to flip real estate? What does that even mean? That doesn't mean anything. I was around, I mean, people don't know history. I was around when Ethereum got hacked and that the Ethereum Foundation cherry-picked transactions. They were like, oh, we broke something, so that transaction doesn't exist. We're going to change the monetary policy here. That's what I'm going to do to hedge the Federal Reserve and the fact that they got to front a $37 trillion bill. Yeah, no thanks. And no one on Wall Street thinks that either.
Wow.
Right? Bitcoin is the actually only innovation that is attractive to solve what is the biggest financial problem ever, which is central banking. So Ethereum is a tech play. And if Ethereum turns into the new Tesla, like a stock, like an equity, great. Sure, people are going to get stimulus checks and they're going to go punt Ethereum and, bet that Vitalik is the new Elon Musk. But it's not a new world reserve currency that everyone can use.
That's crazy. What do you guys think about that? That's nuts. Man, I don't know. How do you guys feel about Ethereum overall? Let me know in the chat. I know a lot of you guys hate Ethereum, but at the end of the day, a lot of the ecosystems run on Ethereum, or it is a giant ecosystem rather. And yeah, I don't know. Miss Randy Hipper, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for stopping by. This is our second stream because the first one crashed apparently. All right, I could actually redirect to you as of right now. All right, let's see. Any other things you guys would like to look at? Let's check out some coins quick. Where are we at? Oh shit, if I did not put that down, that'd be nice. All right, let's see. Let's check out we know ETC POW's been on a shitty downturn, and it's 17 cents still. Bruh. Terrible, absolutely terrible. I'm just kind of recapping stuff, guys. If you have anything to talk about or any questions, please feel free to ask. Hit that like button. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Let's see. Fully electric, that's why I like ETC better. They kept the true chain going. ETC is the original Ethereum, if you guys did not know. Is ETC capped actually? It is 210 million. Nice. I didn't know it was capped actually. I don't think I've ever really paid attention to ETC being capped or not, but that is nice. That is nice that it is not infinite. And if you guys don't know, again, go to the second biggest coin out there. See that? That's the infinite sign. Max supply. Yep, there it is. They can just continue to print once they grab Vitalik by the neck and squeeze him a little bit till his eyes start to bulge. He's gonna start printing for them. That's it. Oh man, it'd be terrible. Anyways, let's see. Let's see. Anything in the chat, just at me if you guys could. Let's check out lithium actually. Good call. Someone just mentioned lithium. Let's see what that's at. It's down 1.45%, up to $1.83. I think it hit close to $2. Yeah, $1.97 yesterday. Not bad. Not bad. See 7-day. Lithium is actually one of those coins that it could be a sleeping giant. The market cap is only 125 million, which it really isn't that much overall. I mean, looking at Kaspa, what is it? 2.1 billion, right? The max supply here is 1 billion coins. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about lithium? Is anybody really bullish on this one? What other coins we got? What other actually, you know what? Let's see what's trending. We have Manta Network and Alt Layer. What's this? Alt Layer, 29 cents. What is this coin? Jeez, 10 billion max supply. Total supply. Let's see. Interesting. I don't know what this one is. Anybody heard of this? Runs on Ethereum. Strange. What about this Vish AI one? I know a lot of people. Actually, I started seeing a lot of content on this one now. A lot of people are getting into this. I probably should have bought it when I said that, but I don't want to sign up for that whatever X egg, whatever the hell you call it, Zex freaking bullshit. However you're supposed to say it. I don't care. It's stupid. They need to rename it, but I don't want to sign up for that exchange. That's really the only exchange you can buy it on right now, as you can see. X egg X. I'm just gonna call it egg. The egg exchange. That's what I'm calling it. Egg X. There we go. Zeggers. There we go. Zeggers. Tom G. Appreciate it. All right. That's what yeah, I don't know. This if you guys are interested, this one, let's see. Let's check out the 7-day. It's actually pretty new to CoinGecko, so January 18th. Let's look at the month. I think it's where it started. It's where it came on, January 18th. And it's just been running up since. Really. It's been let's see. It was 1/10 of a penny, now it's at 3/10 of a penny. Not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, these are the coins where you can make some serious gains on them. Yeah, 13 billion max supply. Doesn't have the market cap. Don't have any info on here. Mr. Steven Cicero. Look at you. You turn into a Power Minds fangirl. Oh god, I told you guys. As soon as everything else starts turning green, this one starts taking a shit. Down 27.9%. See a coin. Terrible. Look at this. You know, these are good trades to get in on though. When you see a big dump like this, it's good. They call it like the fish hook or whatever. Obviously, resemblance of a fish hook. It's good if you can get in, you know, as on the run up is a good time usually, but I don't know. I don't really have high hopes for that coin, to be honest. That's just my opinion. Anyways, if you guys are interested in categories here, if you really do want to look at deep in stuff, you guys can come down and look for it right here. Deep in networks, as you can see. Decentralized physical infrastructure, if I'm not mistaken, is what it stands for. And we have HNT render file coin. SIA coins in there as well, but Flux is actually in there, which I didn't know about. How's Flux doing? 58 cents, not too bad. Hivemapper is one of those ones again that I'm bullish on as of right now. I'm just gonna hold it. I think it's gonna go far. We're just gonna see what happens or what comes of it. Actually, let's see what's the market cap on it. Market cap's only 118 million. That's really not that bad, to be honest. It's really not that bad. Let's see. All right, just trolling, but I do hold SIA. I hold 60 bucks in SIA, which is now probably less than that. But it was from mining it like for a couple days randomly. A couple days, guys. The like button if you could, please. I need 22 more likes. Let's get to 100. That'd be awesome. Let's see. Just buying honey myself. Yeah, Andrew Masad. You know what? I put in at 19 cents. I put in like, I think I had 500 bucks USDT. I just transferred into it. So whatever. It's down a little bit right now, but it'll come back eventually. I mean, you guys could see. Look at this run up it had. It's literally, it was time to have a pullback, right? It was at like 1 cent forever, and then it hit 2 cents and then just absolutely screamed, and it peaked up. Like it says right here, it says like 32 cents. So what's the all-time high I say here? 37 on CoinGecko, but on the Coinbase chart, when it actually was listed on Coinbase, it hit like 50 cents for a quick wick and then right back down. So I mean, overall, this whole thing right here, I mean, it's really not that it's not that bad of a pullback. It's really not. It's really not. unMineable. unMineable. You mean HNT Mobile? HNT Mobile? Let's see. Helium Mobile. There we go. It's just Helium Mobile. This one right here. This one I heard has been doing well. I mean, you can see it's been doing pretty well. I'm not into anything with Helium. I'm just yeah, they burnt that bridge a while ago. But I mean, it did go on a nice tear. It did go on a nice tear, actually. Decent amount came into it, which is pretty cool. F plus, what's up, buddy? Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you, bud. Sorry, chump. It was 400s. Oh, gotcha. All right, let's see. Anything else you guys like to talk about before we get out of here? Someone in the chat just got a warning from Trust Wallet to get your money out by February 1st in New York. Nah. Did you really? What? Trust Wallet's telling you to get your stuff out? Man, New York's strict as shit with wallets. If you guys didn't know, or just anything, exchanges, doesn't matter. Trust Wallet just got a warning for anybody in New York. Huh. Let me just look. Let me see. Trying to see if I can find anything real quick. It just came out now. New York Trust Wallet warning. Let's see. I don't see anything here. I'm just Googling it. I don't see it. Oh, if I could spell right. Still, I don't see shit. I wish it would like have like, man, I wish I could screenshot that and send it to me. 3 weeks ago, New York is one of the most heavily regulated when it comes to crypto. Oh, this is just exchanges. Sorry, Flashbang, just burnt all your retinas. Let's see. Mr. DJ Destar, appreciate you, buddy, for the $5 super chat. He said Nadix, I think, will surpass Honey. It has some lofty goals, and they will let you participate without having to buy equipment. Is a win, in my opinion. Yes, you know what? Actually, Demo allows you to actually Nadix isn't even on here. Nadix isn't even on here. Not yet. Or Nadix, however you're supposed to say it. Nadix. I think it's Nadix. But Demo is another one that you could actually don't have to purchase anything either. If you have a newer vehicle or a Tesla, you can actually download the app, and this will work with your car. It'll work like off the app. And you know what? I probably should do that with mine. I just don't I can't remember my login for the life of me. But Demo's had a friggin' tear. Decent run up. 8 cents, 9 cents to where it was at. What's the all-time high I'd say on this? It says 78 cents. Wow. It's down 45%. Damn, that's a crazy pullback. But I mean, it didn't go back down to the previous low, so a higher low is always good. Let's see what happens, I guess, with it. But all right, guys, anyways, appreciate you. Thank you very much, Mr. DJ Death Star. Again, I'm gonna be getting out of here. I gotta get back to daddy duty. Wife's gonna get to work. You guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hit that like on the way out if you don't mind, and peace out. We're gonna be raiding Miss Randy Hipper right now, but she doesn't start for like a half hour, so enjoy. Peace.
Eat shit, Gary. You are a loser. You always lose.